Welcome to AGL English Stories. Chapter 1. Who Will Bell the Cat? Once upon a time, there lived many mice in a grocer's shop. There in the shop, they ate delicious wheat and rice, pulses and nuts, bread and butter and biscuits. They grew fat day by day. One day, the grocer thought about the heavy losses that he had to suffer because of the menace of the mice. This angered him so much that the next day he brought a big fat cat to his shop. The big fat cat began to catch and kill the fat mice every day. The mice became worried. They called a meeting to discuss the problem. "Let's get rid of this cruel fat cat," the leader of the mice said. "But how?" the other mice asked. All of them began to think. Then one mouse said, "We should tie a bell round the neck of the fat cat. So, whenever she would move towards us, the bell would ring and we will run into our holes immediately." All the mice became very happy to hear this. They began dancing with joy. But their joy was short-lived. An old and experienced mouse interrupted their merrymaking and shouted, "Fools, stop it and tell me, who'll bell the cat?" No mouse had the answer to this big question. Chapter 2. The Fox and the Elephant. There lived a huge elephant in a dense jungle. He was cruel and arrogant by nature. He roamed freely in the jungle, pulling down small trees and branches. Those animals who lived in the trees were very much afraid of this elephant. When he pulled down the trees and tore off the branches, many nests with eggs and nestlings came down crashing on the ground and got destroyed. His movement in the jungle created an all-round havoc. Even the tigers and lions kept themselves at a safe distance from this rogue. In his ruthless march in the jungle, many holes of the foxes were trampled. This led to dissatisfaction among the foxes and among the other animals alike. Many of them wanted to kill the elephant. But this task was very difficult because of his huge size. "He is so huge," said the foxes amongst themselves. "It's nearly impossible to kill him." Then a meeting of all the foxes was called. In the meeting, this rather impossible task was assigned to a very cunning fox to perform. The fox, before executing his plan, studied the elephant's behavior for many days. One day, the fox went to meet the elephant and said to him, "Your Highness, it's urgent to talk to you. It's a matter of life and death for us." The elephant trumpeted at his highest pitch and asked, "Who are you, and why do you want to see me?" "Your Highness," said the fox, "I'm the representative of the whole of the animal community. We want to make you our supreme head, the king. Kindly accept our offer." The elephant lifted his trunk with great pride and asked for details. The fox further explained, "I've come to take you with me. The coronation ceremony will take place in the middle of the jungle, where thousands of animals have already gathered and are chanting holy mantras." The elephant was very glad to hear this. He had always cherished a dream to become a king. He thought that the coronation ceremony will be a matter of pride to him. He readied himself hurriedly to accompany the fox to the deep jungle. "Come, your highness," said the fox. "Follow me." The fox led the elephant to some imaginary spot of ceremony. On their way, they had to walk through a swampy area by the side of a pond. The fox, being light-bodied, crossed the small swampy patch without any difficulty. The elephant too walked on it, but being heavily built, he got stuck into the swamp. The more he tried to come out of the swamp, the more he went deep into it. He became scared and called out the fox, "Dear friend, please help me. I'm sinking in the mud. What'll happen to my coronation now? Call your other friends also to help me." "I'm not going to save you," said the fox. "You deserve this treatment. You know how cruel you have been to other animals and along. You pulled down branches of trees mercilessly, without caring for the eggs and for the lives of the nestlings. You knew everything, but remained indifferent. You trampled upon the burrows of the foxes. You saw our siblings being crushed under your heavy feet. You saw us crying, begging for mercy, but nothing bothered you. And now you are begging for your life? I am sorry to tell you that though your coronation couldn't take place, but your cremation will definitely take place." And the fox left. The elephant couldn't come out of the swamp and died there. Chapter 3. The Lion's Bad Breath. Long ago, there lived a lion in a dense forest. One morning, his wife told him that his breath was bad and unpleasant. The lion became very angry and got embarrassed to hear this comment. He wanted to check this fact with his counselors as well. So he summoned them one by one to his court. First came the sheep. "Hello, friend sheep," said the lion, opening his mouth wide. "Tell me, if my mouth smells bad?" The sheep thought that King Lion wanted an honest answer from him, so he said, "Yes, Your Majesty, there seems to be something wrong with your breath." This plain speak did not go well with King Lion. He pounced upon the sheep, killed him and ate him. Then King Lion called the wolf and said, "What do you think? Have I a bad breath?" The wolf knew the fate his colleague, the sheep, had met. He wanted to be very cautious in answering a royal question, so the wolf said, "Who says that Your Majesty's breath is unpleasant? It's as sweet as the smell of roses." When the King Lion heard the reply, he roared in anger and immediately attacked the wolf and killed it. "The flatterer," growled King Lion. Finally came the turn of the fox, who was Lion's third counselor. When the fox came, the lion asked him the same question. The fox was well aware of the fate of his two colleagues. So he coughed and cleared his throat again and then said, "Your Majesty, for the last few days, I have been having a very bad cold. Due to this, I can't smell anything, pleasant or unpleasant." The King Lion spared the fox's life.